tourism problem is not only a problem of heritage. So there are many sources of different conflicts in heritage management. You are a specialist of this type of problems. Could you describe some of them and suggest some solutions?
Some of the immediate conflicts that come into my mind is in terms of multiplicity of agencies. They might be a historic property or historic site with different stakeholders, different organizations, and this multiplicity of agencies and overlapping jurisdictions. You might have a site which is governed by central governments, and also a state government might have a interest in it, while the local councils might be running their services through it. It might be road or water pipelines and stuff like that. I guess this is one of the core area of issue, because when you get this solved, you get all the parties together on a common platform to understand this historic site and to share the responsibility of taking care of it.
Any solutions?
Oh yes, one of the best way to look at managing multiplicity of agencies or overlapping jurisdictions is to create a kind of a coordination mechanism. It is easy said than done, but we see that when we look from a resource-centric management, where all the agencies think from the perspective of resource, that it's of a historic significance, I guess this coordination mechanism is easy to implement, rather than looking at it from a management perspective, because that will drive the spirit out of the coordination if people tend to look at it from a management perspective rather than a resource-centric perspective.
We have a law, a conservation law based on the Venice Charter. What do you think about the Venice Charter, which was made in the 60s? Is it still valid, or should we try to reassess this document?
As such, charters, they impress upon an advisory role on different legislations. It depends on the national perspective of or their impression towards the heritage, how they want to manage. We have seen that with regards to issues of integrity or with authenticity, there are many issues that are coming up, and the protection of heritage, whether it is guided by any charter, whether it is Venice or Nara or any convention that we see as a World Heritage Convention or the national conventions, it is how the local context can be portrayed in its reality by not bringing in a sense of false commercialization. I guess this can be achieved following charters or adopting the charters to the local legislations.
Venice Charter says that we should leave, for instance, ruins as they are. There are some architects now which are called classicists or traditionalists who suggest that ancient ruin could be reconstructed in its original form. What is your position in such a discussion?
I guess we have to take the approach of looking at different layers of historical interventions. If we give certain significance to the archaeological ruins that might have belonged to a historical layer of 400 years back, we have to measure and balance whether a new intervention, a 21st century intervention, whether will it be so significant that it can match to a 400-year-old ruin site. So I guess we have to be a little careful, and I would say from my point of view I'm a bit skeptical about this approach, because we tend to create more of such spaces for amusement or for visiting purpose, rather than appreciating the real significance for which these sites might have originated.
What is more important?
For me,
Touristic and people's rights, or scientific truth?
I guess we have abundant tourist sites in the world. There is no dearth of any attraction that one wants to see if they have the time and the resources. So I guess scientific application should be given more importance, because once you lose the site, it is impossible to reverse the effects. You might get new tourists in the new season, but it is difficult to get back the historic site in a new season or in a new year to go.
Yes, you came to Łódź. I would like to ask about this city, a question about this city. Did you know something about our heritage? Did you see something in Łódź? How could you describe our heritage? And do you have any advice for us to make our city more friendly and attractive to the visitors, to the tourists?
One particular interest in woods which I had looked at was how industrial heritage has been incorporated into the different types of heritage that we have here. And sites of historic significance are equally competitive here. When we look at the Nelson Square, or when we look at small sites like the wooden church, for example, and then looking at the private investments that have come up in sites like manufacturer, I guess the way to future is that we could look at how we can transfer the benefits that we create from I can't say over-exploitation, but by creating these kind of spaces, by revitalizing these spaces, the economic benefits that are created needs to be shared and transferred to those areas which are in dire need of repairs and which require immediate attention. So I guess this will also help in resolving a lot of local issues, because we will then try to minimize groups which are benefited and which are deprived of things. So in this way we can come to a common understanding that by sharing the benefits we can all live together for a common future of woods. That's what I can think about for the local stakeholders and how they can look at the policy of cultural tourism here.
Thank you very much for the conversation.
Thank you.